Hi, everybody. Today we are going to start the metric measurement system. And in case you can't tell, I'm super excited. I love the metric system. Everything is based on 10, just like our place value system is based 10. So look for lots of patterns. You're going to find some. Today we're going to talk about measuring length, how long something is. But instead of inches and feet and yards, we're going to use metric units. The basis of all measurement in metric for length is the meter. And think about a meter stick. A meter stick is just a little bit longer than a yard. So remember, from your shoulder to your outside hand stretched out, that's about a yard. We'll stretch a little further, and now we have our meter stick. Now, we take our meter stick, and then they've divided it into, guess how many sections? 10. So let's look to see what that looks like. Each section is called a decimeter. Just like there are 10 years in a decade and 10 sides on a decagon, the prefix DEC means 10. So there are 10 decimeters in a meter. But we don't really measure things to decimeters. We need to make our measurement system even. We need to divide our meter stick even smaller. So they divide it into 100 sections, and each section is a centimeter. And if you divided, so a centimeter is about the width of your pinky. If you divided our meter stick into 1,000 pieces, each one would be a millimeter. So put your fingers together, separate them just a little bit, there's a millimeter. When we measure to millimeters, we are talking about a very, very, very short distance. So let's talk about using rulers. In your folder, everyone should have a ruler, and we were using this side last time, inches. Flip it over. We're going to use this side of our ruler when we measure metric. So we're going to talk about centimeters and millimeters. So a centimeter, we took our meter stick and divided it into 100 parts. Just like 100 years in a century, 100 centimeters in a meter. So this picture here is obviously not to scale because 9 centimeters looks like this, maybe about the width of my hand. So I've blown this ruler up so we can see it a little closer. So let's just look and see how long are all of these lengths. I have, let's start with the red line. We can see that that is 2 centimeters. I'm going to keep track of this on my board. The blue line measures to 6 centimeters. And the green line is 9 centimeters. Pretty easy, right? Sometimes, though, it's not going to land directly on a whole centimeter. And so we'll need to think about, how many sections is each centimeter divided into? So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice it's a little longer. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You guessed it, 10. There are 10 millimeters in each centimeter. So let me show you another ruler. This is more like the ruler. This looks more similar to the ruler you have. And so notice this time, instead of it being to the centimeter labeled, they've labeled it by millimeter. Let's see. 2 centimeters is equal to 20 millimeters. 3 centimeters equals 30 millimeters. So let's go back and remeasure our lines from above, but this time let's label them millimeters. The red line is 20 millimeters. The blue line is 60 millimeters. The green line is 90 millimeters. So when you do your packet in a little bit, be sure you're noticing, are we asking you to measure to centimeter or millimeter? They're both equal. They're both correct, but make sure you label it the way it's been asked. But just like we know, most lines aren't going to line up perfectly to the nearest 10 millimeters or centimeter. So let's look at some other examples that are a little bit trickier. Not too bad though. Let's start with this purple line. If I follow it down, it seems to be about here. Well, that's easy. That is 20 whole millimeters, 21, 22, 23, 24 millimeters. Let's look at the yellow line. All the way over, it's 50 whole. We'll start from 55, 56. It looks to be about 57 millimeters. And let's look at that orange line. All the way past 80, past 85, I'm going to say about 87 millimeters. Well, if we could write the numbers above as centimeters, we could write these millimeter units as centimeter units too. So let's see. If I were to use this ruler to measure this purple line, it would be 2 whole and a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 and 4/10 of a centimeter. Could we write that another way? Of course, it's base 10. We could write that as 2 and 4/10 of a centimeter as a decimal. In fact, with measurement in metric, we usually write it as a decimal. So that's something that's different than the customary unit. We wrote everything as fractions. This time we're going to go with decimals. No problem. We can do them both. Yellow, the yellow line. It's 5 whole centimeters. And how many more tenths? 7 more tenths. 5 and 7/10 of a centimeter. And finally, our orange line, 8 whole centimeters and 7/10 more. I'm going to, do you see any patterns here? You should. Absolutely. Add a comment and tell me what you notice about the relationship between millimeters and centimeters. So today you are going to use your lovely rulers and we are going to start our metric measuring packet. Again, message me if you have questions. I miss you guys and let me know if you need help.